There are two types of planners. First, the unstructured layouts, like a Hobonichi or this Laurel Denise Christie layout. You could easily envision using these for anything, but there are others, like this Passion Planner, that use harsh lines and labeled boxes to suggest you really should use it as intended. And that design choice can have its advantages. But what if you need to pivot your planning style mid-year or give a planner that's been sitting on a shelf a second life? So today, I'm going to show you how to use any planner in 3 different ways, even if that's not the purpose that it was built for. Thinking outside the box is an important piece of so many different hobbies, not just planning. You guys know I love my bread baking. So recently I've been watching this class on artisanal ancient grain bread on today's video sponsor, Craftsy. And let me tell you, I've already got quite a few things to improve upon. For example, you're supposed to let your bread ferment in the fridge overnight, which I do, but I wasn't giving mine enough time to rise afterward. And if you're not into baking, Craftsy can help you pick up crocheting, painting, sewing, and the list goes on. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative. It includes hundreds of downloadable patterns and recipes, as well as live streaming instructor events, and you can even share your membership with up to 3 people. There is nothing quite as satisfying as creating something unique with your own 2 hands. And Craftsy is offering you guys a super easy way to get started. The first 1,000 people to join as a new member through the link in the description will get a full year of a premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. Number 1, let's build out a tracking spread. I'm going to make this into a wellness planner for myself with some things that I need to track. Now, with this Passion Planner spread, you don't normally think that this could work for that, but it can. So here are my thoughts. First off, I think I'm going to draw out some divisions in the daily column for the different things that I need to track. Those things might change month to month, or even some of them might change week to week. But by having this spread and drawing it out every week, it makes it easy to change. It's flexible. Just to note, the things I say here are not actually the things I'm tracking in my real life, because I know I might get questions about that. The first thing I'm going to track is my sleep, because I have tracked that before. We're going to leave a big space for food throughout the day, because I know that's what a lot of people track, to be aware of it, even if they're not even adding up the calories. Because just writing down what we eat and looking back at it can be like, whoa, okay, I wasn't realizing I was eating all that. So I think on the daily, I'm going to have sleep, food, and how I moved my body. So let's divide that out. I want to use a bright color that goes with the color of the month. We're April going into May here on the spread. So I think I'm going to choose this aqua blue. Whatever planner you have sitting on your shelf, you just have to be creative. It doesn't matter that there's a timetable here. I can completely ignore that for this spread. I can use whatever planner I have for whatever need I have. You don't need to go out and buy a new planner. You can even redate old planners with date sticker packages off Amazon that only cost about $10, $12 for like an entire year of date stickers. Already, I'm liking the division of the bright blue lines. It just makes me happier. If this is going to be a wellness planner, I need it to feel a little bit happy and fun. I'm going to see what it looks like to go over it with this Tombow marker. I don't know if it's going to make it better or it could completely make it worse, but you learn on a spread and then you move on to the next spread and you can do it differently. No, I actually really like that. That brightened it up a lot. You guys, I've had these Tombow markers for so many years. Granted, I don't use them a ton, but I do use them off and on, and they have like lasted me so many years. So I think Tombows are completely worth it. So what I'm going to do is record my sleep up here. Whether you're tracking with an Oura ring or your watch, there might be something you want to record in here, like so much deep sleep. That's why I left a little bit of space. And so the point is, whatever you're tracking, you know how much space you need for that. So draw it out. That's why I always tell people I actually don't like preset planners for wellness or health. I actually like to choose whatever planner off my shelf or purchase one specifically for that has the space I need. I have always just used a normal weekly planner, and then I use the different boxes, like say if it's an Erin Condren vertical or if it's a Laurel Denise, then I would be recording all my food here. You might organize yours differently. Then down here, I would put how I moved my body that day. So if I did weights at the gym, it would be a great day, you guys. It would be a great day already. And then if I did my walk, and I might put the miles on there, 5 miles. I'm going to go in with some washi tape because we do not need this harsh black line, guys. Once again, if you don't like something in a planner, think about washi tape or stickers. Look already how differently the page looks then. Now I'm going to go in with one of my weekly trackers that I printed from my download shop. Link down below. I have weekly, yearly, 100-day trackers, all different kinds. Passion Planner also offers free tracker printables, so whichever ones you like better. I would probably use part of this area to stick some trackers because if you're doing health stuff, it's very motivating to see your tracking. You could also stick a monthly one that I have on the monthly. I just used a glue stick. I have that linked in my Amazon storefront under Amazon favorites. Now, let me tell you what I would personally use this section for. I would use this section for sunrise, sunset times because I love to keep track of them. I don't know. It's just my brain. I love to know first light, last light, and sunrise and sunset. I have an app on my phone that shows me that. So that would always be up there for me to see because that dictates my walk time. I would probably also have made a weather section for each day where I can write the high and low, which there's actually a little margin up here, so I could use this. And that actually works perfectly. It also helps me with my walks, even though pretty much once we get in the summer, it's just always going to be high. It doesn't change much in the summer. This box you could repurpose for anything that you need. This could be your meal plan for the week. This could be another tracker, but honestly, I love good things that happened that week. You could cover up their quote and their challenge with a sticker if you don't like it there. What I would track over here is wins for the week. You could get stars from Amazon. I will link these in my planner favorites store, and I would put a star for every win and then like write out a little bit about my win. Because in a wellness planner, I think that's important. Over here, I think I would journal a little bit about the week, reflection, because there are lines. You could switch your wins to over here with small stars, and you could write your reflections over here. So really, however you need to use it, but that's how I would set up my page for a wellness tracking planner. Once again, we didn't even utilize the monthly spread. We're not going to get into that in these examples today, but there are so many things you could do there with monthly tracking or writing a gratitude a day on the monthly box. And FYI, if you're interested in Passion Planner, I do have a full review up on YouTube. We'll link that down in the description. I have a review of their weekly planners, of their daily planners. Spread number 2 is going to be functional planning. I feel like I don't even need to draw out a spread for this or talk through it because I have used this entire Passion Planner as well as many others before this for my functional planning. Obviously, this is what the planner was built for, so this is the most obvious spread. And for most planners, that is the case. At different times, I've used the timetable in different ways. At this point, I was putting my appointments where they fit in the day, circling the time, and then I would put a box through that time, how much time I thought that was going to take. So it would like block that much time out of my day, and then I would just list my other to-dos around those appointments. Then my weather went down here in green, my temperatures. I did list good things that happened that week. I need to start doing that in my planner right now in the Laurel Denise Christie planner that I use. Down here was my weekly to-do list. It was kind of sectioned off in, what I thought like work, home, phone calls, errands, that type of thing. Then just more to-do list over here. What I needed to film, thumbnails that needed to be made. See, I have my sunrise and sunset. I love to have that time everywhere. And I would add in washi to cover up that harsh black line and a cute little sticker. In this spread, you can see I would block off whole portions of days to really see how much time I'm going to mainly be working on filming this entire day. And so I just put 2 other little to-dos on there. I wanted to remember the day that I mailed my taxes in, paying quarterly taxes, so that I would know if they didn't get it, what day did I actually mail it. In this spread, you can see I was putting appointments at the time that they were in, but I was putting them on with stickers from Erin Condren. Other times I've used this spread when I didn't want to put my times exactly where they were happening. I would draw a line right here across the top. It just depended on the point in my life, how many appointments I thought I had, where I would draw this line at. And I would write any and all appointments I had up here for the day because that like rules my day. And so I see them up top instead of them being mixed in with my to-dos. I used it like that in an old Passion Planner that I don't have right next to me right now. And then I just listed all my to-dos for the day here. And then the rest of the page was used in much the same way. You could obviously use the time spread for time blocking. And I've shared that in a time blocking video that I have. I've shared several different ways to use time blocking. We'll link that time blocking video down in the description for you. Now let's do the fun one. How would we use Passion Planner for decorative or hobby planning or journaling and memory keeping? Before I start decorating this whole spread up, I know many people might think, well, this is definitely not the best planner for memory keeping because it kind of has harsh black lines. There's lines all over. There's shading, there's all the times. But you can still make it into a memory planner if this is sitting on your shelf. This was an A5 Passion Planner. It was a special hardback one they sent to like ambassadors at the time. They hadn't made any hardbacks at that time. Is this 2019, I think? 2018? And I kept this for an entire year. I would stick a little page per day calendar picture from a Mary Engelbright page per day calendar off Amazon. Then I picked about a color per month. As you can see, October was obviously orange. And sometimes I would write vertically in what happened that day, and I like to keep the temperatures. And sometimes I would write horizontally. As you can see here, I would just turn it, and it really lended itself well to do that too. Then I would just list different things that got done throughout the week. It was kind of like a wins list down here. Good things that happened the week, focuses for the week. This was a really fun planner to keep. So this was memory keeping and journaling, not really fancy scrapbooking or hobby planning. I didn't add any pictures in here, but you definitely can. And I think it turned out so fun, and the colors and the pictures added just enough whimsy. We're going to use the May page from Handcom Plan's Erin Condren Decor sticker pack. It comes with a page for every single month of the year. I also love Planner Kate journaling and decor sheets for something like this. And if you are ever picking up a planner from Passion Planner or from any company, and you want to support my channel, if my videos have helped you in any way, or if they just entertain you and you want to say thank you and help me keep this channel going, you can click through my affiliate links when you go to the website. You still sign into your own account. You still get all your points if it's a company that collects points. But using my affiliate links shows the company how many people I bring to them, and I make a small percentage of the sale, and it keeps my channel going more than you know. So you can see if you just have one decor sheet and some washi tape. Amazon also sells beautiful stickers, you guys, in big books for great prices if you want to get a lot of stickers for a cheaper price. Several of my patrons have shared sticker books that they love off Amazon in our Patreon Zoom calls that we have every month. So this one, I'm not even going to use washi tape to cover up the harsh black line. I'm just going to put some stickers. I've seen people use washi tape to cover up your timetable schedule here. I've seen people color in almost the entire page with things like Tombow markers or other markers. Even the Crayola, like small, I forget what they're called, markers have become really popular because they're cheap to use the ink to like color in the columns, different colors, and then write over it. There are actually a lot of people that use Passion Planner for decorative, hobby planning, memory keeping. They print pictures and put it in here. You could put clippings of anything from the week, put a favorite candy wrapper in here, or a movie ticket stub. It can become kind of a junk journal like that. The amazing 80-pound paper and Passion Planner can handle all of that, and the book can expand. I feel like I want to show you a little bit that if you were coloring in some of your columns like I'm talking about, this is what people do and what it looks like. And then you do your journaling over that. How beautiful is that? I think that would have looked better if I would have written over it in black pen, but I had my blue pen already picked out. It's still beautiful nonetheless to write all over these pages. Also in Papermate flares or Erin Condren dual tip markers brings a lot of fun color to the page. You can pick a marker that matches your stickers, use the lines to guide you, and look how beautiful that looks already. And I barely took any time, and you guys know I am not great at writing neatly, especially when on camera, when the planner's a little bit more in front of me and I have a mic. But you can see how beautifully these weekly pages would come out. Whether you're going on full-on scrapbooking mode or just a little bit of stickers and journaling like I've done here. The page is transformed with a little bit of color. Look at that. And where I wrote over and over with the dual tip marker, you can see a little bit of ghosting, but no bleed through. You can't see the Tombow at all. It has amazing 80-pound paper. Give me any planner off your shelf. And I'm telling you, you can use it in these 3 different ways, plus many, many others. Whatever you need in your life, you can pull out that planner that you are not using and put it to good use. Let me know if you have any planners that are not in use, sitting on your shelf, and if you could see yourself ever using them for a different purpose. I want to hear them down in the comments. I always learn so much from you. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time here with me today. If you want to stay with me for the deep breath at the end, let's do it, guys. Take a deep, deep inhale. Hold it for a couple of seconds and exhale. Sigh it out. Try to make that inhale, take another one, last at least 5 seconds. And your exhale last at least 5 seconds or longer too. Happy spring, my friends. If you live somewhere where it's hard to make it through winter, you have made it. I'm going to take us out with one of my favorite poems of all time. Pierce and I memorized this poem together when he was about 10 years old for some Boy Scout pass-off thing. I thought, if he's doing it, I can do it with him. Now, this is a longer poem. I'm going to read the whole thing. I'm going to give Pierce free editing freedom, which he always has. And he can choose if he's just going to put the 3rd stanza, which is the most popular stanza of this poem, and then you can go read the rest yourself, or if he's going to leave in the whole thing. It is called Good Timber by Douglas Mallock. The tree that never had to fight for sun and sky and air and light, but stood out in the open plain and always got its share of rain. Never became a forest king, but lived and died a scrubby thing. The man who never had to toil to gain and farm his patch of soil, who never had to win his share of sun and sky and light and air, never became a manly man, but lived and died as he began. Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger wind, the stronger trees. The further sky, the greater length. The more the storm, the more the strength. By sun and cold, by rain and snow, in trees and men, good timbers grow. Where thickest lies the forest growth, we find the patriarchs of both, and they hold counsel with the stars, whose broken branches show the scars of many winds and much of strife. This is the common law of life. I always get a little bit teary-eyed at the last stanza of that poem. Take care of yourself, my friends, so you can take care of others. That's what we're here for. We need community. We need each other. I hope you can find a friend or a family member to talk to today. Reach out to someone. If you haven't talked to someone, if you've been working in your office all alone all day, I'm going to invite you to reach out and talk to someone today, not just through text. Maybe you text them if they're open for a phone call, like say, are you open for a phone call? I want to chat a bit. But I am inviting you to actually reach out and have a real conversation with someone. I am telling you, it will lift your spirits and it will lift theirs too. Or maybe you just go for a walk outside and you randomly find a neighbor to talk to, or at least wave to and say, hey, how's your day going? How's your week been? All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.